Hi guys, so it's been quite a while since I posted a video on this channel and I really wanted to share the books that I've been buying recently. I went on vacation at the end of May, beginning of June. I went to Cyprus and then to London, and then since being back I have bought a couple of books as well. I haven't really been reading that much this summer, honestly, but I have been enjoying what I've been reading. It's just I've been reading at a much slower pace than usual. I'm hoping that this fall I'll be reading the books that I bought in the summer and I will kind of pick up my reading pace because it has been quite slow recently. So the first book I bought is An Inconvenient Indian, which is by Thomas King. This is a book that I've been meaning to read for a couple years now. I think it's been out since 2012, but it's been on a lot of people's best of lists. It is a very highly regarded book, and it was actually part of the 2015 Canada Reads books. I will leave a link to that so that you can get a bit more information. And also I'll leave a link to a video that Mercedes did. She did a review of this book as well as a Joseph Boyden book, and I would recommend watching that video to get a bit more information about it. So that was the book that I bought before leaving, and then once I was in London I did buy quite a few books, especially considering how small my suitcase is. I have one of those carry-on suitcases. I actually used it as a carry-on on my way to Europe, and then on my way back from London I did check it in because I didn't really want to have to deal with it, but somehow all of these books fit in there, as well as my clothing and my swimsuit and my shoes. I don't know how, but it was quite heavy. I wanted to share with you first the 3 books that I bought at the Tate Modern. So I really enjoyed going to museums in London. I really enjoy museums in general. I really like modern art. I mean, I like a lot of different art periods, but I really enjoyed going through the collection at the Tate Modern. And then after that I went to their bookstore because I always love going to the bookstores that museums have, and they were actually running a promotion on the Icon Books graphic guide, so I got 2 of them. So I got Postmodernism, a graphic guide, as well as Feminism, a graphic guide, and these are, as you would imagine, guides to the topics listed, and they're graphic because they also include pictures. There just seems to be a lot of information packed in such a small format, so I'm really excited to get into these. And also at that bookstore I got On Reading, Writing, and Living with Books, which is a little anthology of several different authors' writings about books. There's How Should One Read a Book by Virginia Woolf, Letter from Charles Dickens to Wilkie Collins, Authorship by George Eliot, etc. And this is actually a collaboration between Pushkin Press and the London Library, so I was really happy to get that in London. So next I have a little story. Basically, when I was in Cyprus, I was visiting family in Cyprus, I brought the 2nd and 3rd book of the Neapolitan novels by Elena Ferrante with me. For some reason, I thought I had brought the 3rd and the 4th because I'd actually already read the 2nd book. I read it before going on vacation. So I read the 3rd book while in Cyprus, and then I was really excited to read the 4th book. And I thought I had brought the 4th book, but it turns out I never even bought the 4th book, and I was really disappointed because I actually had started reading the 2nd book after the 3rd book, thinking it was the 4th. I'm not sure if you're catching what I'm saying, but basically I was really disappointed. So when I got to London, I decided to pick up the 4th book, which is The Story of the Lost Child. This is the 4th and final book in the Neapolitan series, and as you probably know, I really love this series. I've been really enjoying it. I know that it's not necessarily everyone's cup of tea, but I am really enjoying it. I haven't actually read it yet, but I think I'm going to get to this really soon because I'm curious to see how the story goes. So the next books I bought with Mercedes. So when I was in London, I met up with Mercedes and we did some book shopping, and after that we also met up with Jean, and we also saw Elizabeth, and I'll leave a link to all of their channels down below. But we did book shopping more towards the morning, and the first bookstore we went to is the London Review bookstore, which was actually not that far from my hotel. I was staying in a hotel in Bloomsbury. It was quite expensive, but it was just a really nice area to be in, and I was really happy with the books that I found at the London Review bookstore because I found 2 signed copies. So I found The Transmigration of Bodies by Yuri Herrera, which is signed, as well as Human Acts by Han Kang, which is also signed. So this is the signature in Human Acts, and this is the signature in The Transmigration of Body. Also at the London Review bookstore, I forgot to mention, I got The Argonauts by Maggie Nelson, which is also signed. Let me just find the signature. and I read this actually while I was in London. I really loved it. I really connected with it. I thought it was beautifully written. It was just such a great story, but it's so personal and so beautifully written, as I've mentioned. I'd highly recommend it, especially if you like memoirs. So I really enjoy reading memoirs. If you enjoy memoirs, I think you're going to really enjoy this. So the next 3 books I got at a used bookstore. I don't actually know the name of the used bookstore. I'm going to try to find the name and leave a link to it down below, but I was with Mercedes and we just found this bookstore. I think it must have been somewhere near Foyles, because we went to Foyles too, but I didn't actually buy anything at Foyles. So we found this bookstore and I found some really great deals. So I got Bodies of Water by V.H. Leslie, and this is from the publishing house Salt, and I'm actually quite surprised at how cheap this was. This was £3.50, so that was really good. I also got Multitudes by Lucy Caldwell, and I've heard really great things about this as well. And also I got Foreign Soil by Maxime Beneba Clark. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but I love this cover, and once again, these were all really cheap. And interestingly enough, I actually almost bought Multitudes at Foyles, and then about 20 minutes later I found it for just a couple of pounds, for £3 at this used bookstore. So I'm really hoping to find it and leave a link to it down below, because if any of you are in London, I'd highly recommend going there. They had a lot of new books. So the next 3 books I bought actually quite recently. When I got back from London, I didn't really buy that many books. I wasn't really in a book buying mood, but recently I have been in a book buying mood, and I bought Elizabeth is Missing by Emma Healy. I found this for a couple of dollars at a used bookstore near my house, and I've heard really great things about this. And finally, my birthday was in July, and I got a gift card to Indigo, which is a Canadian bookstore, and it took until last week for me to actually pick what books I wanted to buy with the gift card. So I got a book that I've heard a lot about, which is Our Spoons Came from Woolworths by Barbara Commons. And finally is a book about a topic that I've become really interested in lately. This is Eureka Street, a novel of Ireland like no other by Robert McLean Wilson. And this is about 2 boys growing up in Belfast. One is Catholic, one is Protestant, and it's about their upbringing during the Troubles and in Northern Ireland. So I've become really interested in Northern Ireland, in also Irish history in general, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. So that was my book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any book recommendations, or if you've read any of these books, please let me know. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys soon.